from Copium today. Now, how did the raid go today?
Yeah, it was okay. We did 4 heroic bosses and then re-cleared all the mythic bosses that we need to, so it could have been a bit better, but
Yeah,
yeah, we got everything done.
yeah,
Hopefully we people in the chat, god damn. We would have hoped to get onto Halandris and maybe even kill it actually, because they changed the fight a lot and made it a lot easier, but
yeah. I was gonna say they
it's fine. Yeah.
they reduced the health by 10%. So as long as you get it done in the end, as long as you get it done, have some hits at Anduin, of course, and see how that fight goes.
That's it,
Because
man. That's it. Yeah.
because the reclears, like I noticed last week as well, the reclears haven't been that great. But I did like the heroic DK play there. The heroic DK play was actually really really good. I thought he was gonna kill it because I was like, the raid's stabilizing. He's doing a really good job. He's not dying. He's staying alive. But I think how much
Yeah.
was it? 500k?
500k, I think. But
Yeah, it was like so close.
look, that's a valiant effort from my man Cascom there. Big up, Cascom.
Yeah, it was. I gotta say, I thought you
Yeah,
guys were
yeah.
done at like 2%. I'm just like, yeah, this is a wipe, and just gonna go on to the next attempt. But overall, how do you think about this tier so far?
Do you mean for us as a guild? You mean, or just in
Guild and
general? It's
in general, how do you enjoy it?
um. Oh, was that Evie? Oh, sorry, Evie. Apparently, Evie was the one that did the grips there. So yeah, shout out to both of the red men.
Yeah, tanks these days. You know what? It's called tanks main tank and off tank. Okay, like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. You don't remember their names. You just know them as the
yeah,
tank.
yeah.
Right. Yep.
So the tier, I guess overall is a tier. Depends how you look at it. I guess from a race world first perspective. It depends. Like I think a lot of the players, I think the raid's really good. The boss is really good. The tier set stuff is like a little not so good just because of how many splits you need to do and stuff. But I think they all like the raid,
Mm-hmm.
but but
Do you like the raid? That's the most important part.
oh yeah, I like the raid. Yeah, I think the raid's good.
Well, what's your favorite boss?
My favorite boss.
And why is it Crabman? I mean,
Well, Crabman's like pretty good, honestly, but we haven't really done all the bosses on Mythic, so it's kind of hard to say.
it can be heroic or normal. It doesn't really matter. Like it can be Rygalon and Anduin or anything like that.
Yeah. I'd probably say, even though we haven't done it yet, probably I think Mythic Raglan is going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll end up being my favorite boss, but if not that, then yeah, like Anduin or Halandris. I genuinely think Halandris is like a pretty insane boss. It's unfortunate it's got that sort of the classics of one guy,
Yeah.
one person messes up and the whole raid dies
Yeah.
instantly. But it's very difficult mechanically and numbers wise, and it was really entertaining to watch. So yeah, those are
It's
a few bosses that are pretty good.
it's a dramatic like project manager's case. Like you're managing like not five, 3 or 4 different mechanics, and if you mess any of them up, they kill you. It's just like Five Nights at Freddy's, basically. I feel.
Yeah, yeah. The bomb mechanic is very it's quite unique. It doesn't really like involve you sort of damaging the boss or
Mm-hmm.
anything. Like it's completely sort of like separate from what's going on in terms of you hitting the boss. Like sometimes you just have to not even hit the boss and just like do the bomb mechanic. So
Yep.
and you're working as a team and everything, and yeah, I think
Yeah,
the
and the
mechanics are
hardest
pretty
part
cool.
of that bomb mechanic as well is definitely on a transition, the last transition especially. Like I remember watching
Yeah,
honestly ethical, you guys get to it, and I'm just like sitting there going like, this is like a marathon at this stage. Like you've got to exchange it about 3 or 4 times to get to phase 3.
yeah. I think second intermission is probably just the hardest part of the fight, honestly. Obviously, I think you have double the amount of bombs that you have in first intermission. I think bombs are just generally like more
Mm-hmm.
difficult to do in intermissions than regular phases. And phase 3, I don't think will be that difficult. Actually, I think the boss dies pretty quickly, and there aren't any like dispels or anything. You just kind of gotta blast. So, but yeah.
Yep. I was actually wondering as well with the loot thing you talked about. What do you prefer Master Looter to come back?
Oh, probably. I think if you bring back Master Loot, then you don't really need to do as many splits, right? I'm not like super knowledgeable on all of that, but
Yeah.
I think the less splits, the better. Like, you know, we just want to get in there and
Mm-hmm.
do the mythic content, and there was just so much time spent doing splits for the race to world first, and like we obviously spent a lot more time doing splits than we usually do. So
Yeah,
I think Master Loot
I've
would
been
be pretty good.
seeing
Yeah.
a lot of splits from a lot of guilds, not just you guys as well. Um, what was the other thing? Like, would you be doing these splits if you had Master Looter?
Um, I don't know. I don't think you. Oh, you probably would. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just to like get more. It'd still give you more chances of looting tier or whatever. Like if the more characters you bring in, I think. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think you need to worry about the whole charade of like who can trade X, who can trade Y, like
Yep.
on their characters. Um, because it's effectively like everything is just tradable by the master looter, so you don't have to worry about that. So
Yep.
I think you would still do splits, but just not as many, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually asking, when did you start raiding in WoW?
Me, I started raiding. Um, well, I started raiding in ICC, but that was just kind of like casual pugs.
Yep. Because
Not really a proper guild.
I heard you say like, oh, I just want to get in there and progress. And like, that's such a Raph Lich King like concept because back then splits weren't even a thing. Like
Oh
splits didn't
yeah,
exist. And then
yeah, and you just had the two difficulties, right? Or were there three?
and
I think there
there's
were
two
just two.
difficulties, and it's just
Yeah.
limited attempts. And it's just like you just want to get in there and do it. Like the splits only occurred because I raided hardcore and mop in mop. And were you hardcore raiding during that part? From mop onwards, or when did you start
Um.
hardcore raiding?
Uh, de- Depends what you call hardcore raiding, I guess. I guess
Okay, have you
since
been
I'd
day raiding before? That's what I'm meaning. Because
no
I know.
no I've never day raided before. I guess you could probably just say like since I joined this guild is when I started to raid in I
Okay.
guess a good guild in quotation marks. That was like 4 years ago, I think. So
Yep. Because a lot of AU guilds I've noticed as well. A lot of AU guilds, none of them day raid. They're all evening hard. 3 or 4 days, 5 days, 6 days maybe as
mm.
well. I've noticed
Yeah.
that like there's no day raiding AU guilds anymore. Like, do you know the
Um
reason behind that? Is it because Mizey left? That's a joke, by the way.
I don't think. I mean, it's a few things. One, the region itself is just very small. Like, there's a very small player pool in general, and there's a very small player pool of players who want to go hard
Mm-hmm.
and push for the as high as they can with rankings. Um, you've got, I guess, a few guilds who probably could get up there in the top, 7, top 8 if you did their rate, but no one really. There are just very few people that
Mm-hmm.
would want to put in that time and effort to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't think. Well, me personally, I wouldn't really want a day raid unless I was raiding in a guild that was pretty much guaranteed to get like, well, first, second, maybe third, but definitely one of the top two. I wouldn't day raid if I'm raiding in a guild that's probably just gonna get like world 6 or nothing higher than that, because I kind of just think like, what's the point? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they just aren't. The play pool's small, and there just aren't enough people that want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you could think about like a merge thing with all the guilds, but I don't know. That's never really been an option over the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe one day,
I actually
but
did talk about
I
it
think
with
that's quite unlikely.
I actually did talk about that making a super guild with pumps actually. And when if that happened, he's like he's not too sure if it would happen if a super guild would happen with the Oceanic. Because like if you look at the Oceanic scene, like I was looking at WoW Prog the other day, okay? And there were like so many Oceanic guilds on Frostmourne that are within like 1 or 2 bosses of each other. So
Hmm.
I'm surprised this idea hasn't been suggested.
I mean, it's probably been suggested, but it's just been not really feasible, just based on like relationships and how the
Mm.
guild. I don't think some people in the guild wouldn't in the
To be
guilds
fair,
wouldn't
it's
really
very
work
competitive.
together.
Very competitive
Uh,
because you got like
yeah, yeah.
7 or 8 guilds, like in the light side. Of course, personality clashes are going to happen. I mean, I've been raiding a lot as well, and there's always personality clashes. Okay, like for example, we had a few members, one member who's still raiding with honestly, but like you have personality clashes here and there, and it sucks, but at the same time, it's understandable.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, nobody's perfect, but
Hmm.
I think most people in OCE just want to raid with people that they like raiding with, and it'd be a big change, I guess, if we were to all of a sudden just shuffle it up. I
Yep.
don't think people value world ranks high enough
Hmm.
to think about doing that. So, I mean, I think I can speak for most of our good at least. We're pretty content doing what we do. So,
But yeah, also I was actually wondering overall with Liquid, Sonics, and all these orgs coming into the onto the scene, not the Oceanic scene. It'd be funny if they did. Do you reckon like
mm.
have you got any offers from any orgs or anything like that? Like some of the guys in chat, if you guys are part of the GM group of Copium or anything like that, have you any offers from like orgs and stuff like that to potentially? I know it's just like out there to set up a LAN so you guys can day rate or compete and give you a salary or anything like that. Because I
Not that I know of. I I I think other people might know better than me. I know honestly had a Red Bull sponsorship in EP. I don't know how big that was. I know they're all got a case sent to their house or something like that. But yeah, I think it's just more difficult for orgs to like look into
Mhm.
OCE because we're kind of like in the middle of nowhere and stuff.
Yep.
But
I was actually referring to like
yeah.
Chiefs Order and stuff like that. AU orgs, not overseas orgs.
Oh
And
yeah.
man,
Oh, I've heard of
that's
Chiefs.
a
Yeah.
long shot. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you get Renegades or like Liquid or SK, here that'd be over the moon. Okay, but let's talk about like
Yeah,
AU
true.
orgs.
Yeah. Yeah, AU orgs. Yeah, I, I've heard of Chiefs, and the others do ring a bell as well. But yeah, no, unfortunately, no. I don't think we've been approached by them. Maybe Cascom or the other officers could confirm, but yeah,
Yep.
I don't think so. If there was one guild that, if there was one guild that has, I would assume probably honestly, but oh, actually, I think Ethical might have had something as well.
Honestly, I can tell you right now. Honestly, did like Pumps had said there was something, but nothing came out of it. He didn't accept it.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yep.
Ethical had something. I can't remember which tier it was. I think it was like a year and a half or 2 years ago. Where, but I don't know if it went through because I think part of the contract was that they had to day rate and they didn't want to. So, um,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Yeah, because I actually tried to get because I cast CS:GO, so I know some of these looks well. I actually tried to get Order and Ethical to link up. This is when Ethical had that number 2 Mythic Plus team and beat Method NA. I was like,
yeah,
this is a
yeah,
good opportunity. Okay, we need some because I want orcs to come into WoW. Okay, because I feel like there's something in here. Because Order used to have a arena team, and I'm like,
yeah.
help these guys out because they're gonna go to BlizzCon and they can beat Method NA. They can beat this Method chokehold. They ended up losing to Method EU, but despite that.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I mean, yeah, Ethical have a killer um, MDI team for sure. It's and I've watched them each season. They do super well, and they compete at the very top levels. So
I was just wondering, like, would your
yeah,
guild do that? Like, have a big LAN, maybe have 2 or 3 Australian guilds or anything like that in there, or like your own kind of thing? Like, how would
you
that go
mean
down?
like for a new tier?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, if it was in Sydney or Melbourne or somewhere
Hmm.
like that, Uh, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think the turnout for us would be like amazing. Maybe we'd have like somewhere in between 5 to 10 people go there, but
Yeah.
depends on what the offer is, I guess. If there's,
Yep.
if there's more money in it, if we turn up, then I
Yeah.
guess a lot of more people would go. But I think that would be pretty cool for a handful of people. Yeah, I think that'd be a good experience.
Yeah, because I do
Um,
remember Complexity doing this. Is back in before World first became super famous. They'd offer the Complexity their limit. but they also had BDG and a few others, like 10 people or so there. So that's how that kind of started before they became
Mm,
super exclusive.
mm.
Also, I was wondering as well, with Liquid and Echo doing this management in the background, where they offer, millions of gold for certain loot stuff like that, is that taking away anyone from you guys doing it on Alliance side, or?
Um, oh, not really. I mean, we did do a bit of that. We bought quite a lot of tier from and like got helpers in from the Alliance community to
Mhm.
come in and trade us tier. We did pretty
Yep.
well with that. So I don't know. I'm sure it's a bit more difficult the lower rank the guild is. But us we were able to successfully get some traders in, yeah, and get us some tier. So it wasn't
Yep.
too much of an issue for us.
Do you feel like if they're gonna expand on this Liquid, say tier and these splits still happen, will that restrict other guilds from doing it? Like from other guilds that are not Liquid and not Echo? Uh,
With the tier trading, do you
yeah, yeah,
mean?
and they might suspect cross faction raiding. Like, is that going to impact you being able to progress? Like, is that going to be a barrier of
Oh, I
entry? What
see.
do you feel about it?
For us, like next year with cross faction, do you mean?
Yeah, if it happens.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it'll probably be a little more difficult to once if cross faction comes in to get people in to trade us whatever the items are that we might need next year. But it's we have no idea, I guess, what the deal is going to
Mm-hmm.
be next year with gear. If we're going to have dom shard tier like corruption, like whatever the random loot system is that they bring in. Um, yeah, it might be a little bit harder, but I don't think I think we'd still probably be able to get people. We're pretty well known in ACE. Like we can post there and trade chat, and we've got a bunch of friends.
Yep.
All the raiders have a bunch of friends they can probably ask and just come in and help us out. Like a lot of the helpers who came in this tier were just friends of ours, like friends of the raiders as well. So
Yep.
um, for us personally, yeah, I think possibly slightly a little more difficult with cross faction, but not really.
Yep. How many splits do you guys run currently?
I think we're pretty much done with splits now. But
Sorry. Before, sorry, but like in general.
before, yeah. Well, we do. Usually it was like two heroic. Normal it'd be like I think it was two to three. But then once like once like week one mythic came around, it started to become a case of like we'd look at like we had a spreadsheet of all the tokens
Yep.
and who had them and who still needed them and the helpers that we could get in on those tokens. And so we do, the two normal splits, but then we'd also do a certain like we do like Anduin a few times extra
Yep.
with like we'd all kill Anduin except for one person that like needed the tier or something, and then we'd all kill Anduin again with all the same people, but that person that needs tier like comes in and so
Yep.
they're guaranteed the tier or something like that. um
Mhm.
I'm not too sure how it works, but I think it was something along those lines. So we did that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was like it was usually two splits, but then we'd do that sort of rubbish. We'd sit there and kill a boss over and over.
Yep.
Echo and Liquid did similar things where they just like sit on Anduin and kill it like 20 times or something. So
Yep. I was actually
that's just
one. Yep. Sorry,
I was
continue.
just gonna say that's just what you had to do this year. That's just the way it is. Unfortunately, that's how you get the maximum value. So
Just kill the boy king over and over and over again.
yeah, yeah.
I was actually wondering because mental health is propped up now because basically Max and Liquid are quite drained. In fact, some of the talent at the Liquid, center as well were quite drained. With doing something like day ready, for example, like 16 hours a day, every day for 2 to 3 weeks. Like, do you know anyone who has done that? And if so, like, if you did that, how would you feel by the end of it?
Uh, I can't imagine how I'd feel. I don't think I don't think I'd be doing too well. I'd like if I was to do that, I'd like to kind of ease into it, I guess, and practice.
Hmm.
Because I think just going straight into 16 hours would be pretty
Of course,
insane.
dinner,
But
breakfast, and lunch breaks, of course. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, look, it's pretty insane how long the race lasted, and I understand Liquid sort of wanting to just step back a bit and finish the tier on their own time
Hmm.
because health comes first, and I think some of them were a bit beat up. So yeah, I understand their decision.
Yeah,
But yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that shit.
yeah, because I'm looking at some MMO champ threads, which is like, basically can be a bit of masochism at times. But they're like going off on max at this. I'm like sitting there going like, you can tell these people have never day rated. Okay, you can tell. Okay, because
Oh yeah, yeah.
I did it in Ascension back in Mop. Okay, because Marzi wanted to beat Overture,
Oh,
and
okay, cool.
mate, it is not fun. It is not fun. Like I had to like do
Hmm.
meal prep, which I never do.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I pretty much no one in our guild who would want to do that. And yeah, I mean, like new people, like you said, yeah, there were definitely a few new faces in Liquid and Echo who've probably never done that before. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's pretty intense, very intense.
Actually, with this, okay, so if you didn't know about what Skyline did, so Skyline did this strategy where they took people into a Mythic Plus, and that person got someone back to the raid, and then they received their loot in a mailbox. What do you think about that sort of strategy? What do you think Blizzard should do about that?
Um,
Because Skyline came in at like 5 average eye levels above limit and Echo at one stage in Mythic.
yeah. Well, I think if they're not breaking any rules, then I think it's pretty smart, right? I don't, whether did they sort of break any toss or anything doing that,
No, no,
or
no,
do you know?
no breaking toss. Everything was in
Yeah,
gold. It's just the person came in, said it, started it, then they left, and then went back to the raid, and then they get the loot mailed to them.
yeah. Well, I think that's smart. I think that's very smart, and good on them for figuring it out. Don't know if any other guilds did that or caught
Would you
on or
want to do
anything,
that?
but
Would you want to manage that?
no, no, nope.
Yeah, that was the comment that Max said. He said, "I don't want to organize that."
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a nightmare to organize, definitely, but that's all. It sounds like it was worth it if they were that far ahead in eye level, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. They got their world third. They got the world third. I think you switched to it as they killed it.
Yeah, I found a Skyline stream on Twitch last night. It was just in recommended. I hadn't seen any before. I didn't know whether they were all on Doyu or whatever, but
Yeah, yeah. I got you.
I
I know.
saw they yeah, they killed the boss probably just before our raid finished. So yeah,
Yeah,
handed over to them.
yeah. Good old do the Chinese stream side. I always actually because I can't CS:GO as well, and anytime you want a clean feed, you have to go through Do, which is can be a bit frustrating as well. If
Yeah.
there's anything's in Beijing,
Mm.
I'm trying to think of which Oceanic guild do you think is gonna win all of this? Other than saying yourself, what's another guild that's in the wins of winning it all, like being the first to kill a jailer on Mythic? Because there's a lot of them. There's about 8 or 9 that are roughly in the pack.
Yeah, a bit of a hard one to answer. I feel like I'll get hate with whatever I answer, but I guess the easy answer is just the guild that's quite comfortably ahead now, which is honestly I don't know where they're up to in Anduin, but
Best attempt is 49%. They've had 3 or 4 attempts past the fourth Grim Reflection and
oh
haven't gone
yeah,
to phase 3 yet.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think honestly, they're obviously a very good guild. They have a ton of great players.
Mhm.
So if they can keep it up, then yeah, it they could grab it. But I think it's anyone's game out of the top three. I think all three at the top are capable.
Mhm.
that's not to discredit the ones below. They probably just don't raid enough to kind of like,
Yep.
catch up. That's all. So yeah, it'll be a interesting race, I guess. But I know us personally, like we're not really we're not concerned with with the ranks of honestly and ethical. Like we're
Yep.
just gonna play our game and you know try and try
Hmm.
and equal or better our world rank from last year, and whatever
Yep.
happens with the OC ranks, so be it.
Yeah, it was
It'd
actually
be
good.
nice to come first, but if it doesn't happen, then it's whatever.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, was it like playing from behind, because there was, well, Max said something it's really, really hard to play from behind, but given you've answered that one, saying like you don't really care about the rankings as long as, you improve since the last time, you're happy.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot different for them, I suppose, because
Yep.
the rank is their like complete focus, I guess. But for us, it's not
Mm.
really a focus. So yeah, it definitely would have been hard for them. But for us,
Yep.
we're just doing our own thing, I suppose.
Actually, I was actually going to wonder, because I'm not sure if you answered this, but this is from the day rating perspective. Why do you think, Australians don't go for a day rate option, anything like that? Is it because of the time? Is it because, they can do something else that, bills and stuff like that? They have to pay for bills, they don't pay themselves, or.
Yeah, I think it's uh, I guess it's two main things. One would be the money, and the second would be like just people's willingness to do it. I suppose people don't enjoy WoW that much, such that they want to actually day raid and go forward first and stuff. So there's that, and yeah, the money. Like most of the day raiding guilds, day raid because they can afford to do it. I think a lot of them do have jobs that they take like a roster time off for during the World First race.
Yep.
Um,
I
so
can confirm in the NAC, yes, a few of them do.
yeah, so I mean, you know, OC could do that, and you know, uh, take time off their jobs and for a few weeks and do that. But I think I think the bigger thing is just the communities. They're not really, but no one's really willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's and the whole merging guild for people for 25-ish people
Yep.
that want to do it. You're not gonna be able to fill that 25 roster of people who actually want to do that. So
I actually
I
did
don't know.
notice.
It's unfortunate, but
Actually,
yeah,
I have noticed that the AU scene used to be super hardcore, like I think the mop what era, and now there's just a lot of guilds are now just the typical 3 or 4 night a guild, and that's pretty much it.
yeah. I guess yeah. The play pool and all of that has just been on a steady decline. I guess yeah since Mop. I'm pretty sure yeah the OC like rankings used to be a lot like there used to just be like a lot more guilds in the
Mm-hmm.
top 100 or whatever it was. So but yeah, that's just how it is now. Was Mob the last time, when there was like a day rating guild or
I'm not sure actually, because I'm not sure if Ascension side kept day rating after that. Because I know they did something
okay.
in High Mall, and Pumps referred to that, so I assume they day rated High Mall and then
Yeah,
fell
yeah.
apart, which was inevitable really. Because I think that's the time that because I'd quit by then, where Marzi had been unfortunately deported from Australia.
Okay. Yeah. Um yeah, well it's been a while. It's been a while since the day rating in Australia, and maybe some point in the future, depends where the game heads, depends
Mm-hmm.
on other games I guess that float around as well, but for now, uh in the near future at least, it's looking pretty unlikely, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got today, because I'm almost running this interview to 30 minutes. But yeah,
Oh
thanks for
yeah.
coming on, and definitely interesting insight. I just wanted to know more about the AU scene. You know, are we able to get organizations and sponsors on board? And gives me greater insight into the AU scene and stuff like that as well, where it's just like it's basically seems like it's just a willingness to do so. And I think
Yeah.
everyone just, I guess no one likes staring at a screen 16 hours a day.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like sort of going outside and doing things. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
yeah, it wouldn't be for me. I don't think. Um, yeah, I think that's just how it is in OC. We're all just sort of happy raiding in the evenings and doing what we can with the time that we've got. And we'll see how it goes. As like I said, maybe some point in the future, but I think I would not be surprised if the days of OC day rating are finished
Mm-hmm.
for good.
Last thing for sure. What do we want to say to the lovely Copium members in chat? Okay,
Uh,
before they troll you relentlessly and afterwards in guild chat.
look, thanks for being in the chat. Thanks for being nice. Thanks for supporting Only Josh and TV.
Really
And thanks
bad.
for linking me the weaker on prototype. That was a big help. Yeah,
I
thank you
didn't.
very much.
What? Okay, what weaker on prototype do you need?
Nothing. It's a kick.
Is a kit
It's a
cooldown?
kick
Yes,
weaker,
I knew it.
and
Okay.
I came in. I wasn't that prepared. I was wondering if someone could give me the spell ID, but that didn't happen. And then I didn't have the correct weaker set up, and I should have been more prepared. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't worry.
that's a
We used to have a kick order. I used to be like, done in chat macros. Didn't even have the weak aura back in the day. But yeah, I can
yeah.
imagine. I can imagine 'cause
They're
it makes it so much easier.
they're a bit of a pain. They're a pain, but anyway, I'll have it all set up next time. No problem.
Anyways, have a good one, man. You have a great
My
day, and
my pleasure. My pleasure, man. Thank you very much for having me on. You have a good night.
same to you. And good luck on the rest of the tier.
Thank you, man. Thank you. See you
See ya.
later.
Bye.